Ladies and gentlemen, as always, welcome back to another remarkable day on the road here on the Pirate Ragnar channel. My name is Alistair, and this is day 8 of my cross-continent solo road trip from 2018. Waking up in Waco with some pep in my step, I managed to get out the door bright and early. As mentioned in day 7, Texas is frickin' huge. And for much of the morning, I'll be snaking my way across rural Texas towards the Louisiana border. Before we jump into the on-the-road recording I had for that day, which I tried to fit in early in the day before I hit some of the faster roads where recording audio would be pointless, I'd like to point out that I was feeling particularly creative on this day. That said, unplanned creativity doesn't always work out the way it does in your mind, so for the upcoming camera angles that just don't really work, my bad. It is what it is, and it's the footage that I have, so I'll make the most out of it. Without further delay, let's see what 2018 me had to say.
So I left Waco this morning on time. It's unfucking believable. I'm actually leaving somewhere on time for the first time since the first couple of days. The first couple of days I actually did okay. When I was heading down to Arizona. Get up nice and early, pack the bags, get the bike going, and take off. But the last couple of days, I either planned to leave later than I should have. On Tuesday, I didn't plan to leave until around 10:30 from Sedona. And in hindsight, that was way too late. Yesterday, I thought to myself, oh yeah, no time change. Not as long a day. You can take your time. I don't think I left until like 9. Turns out there was still a time change coming from New Mexico into Texas. I knew that. I just had a fucking brain fart. And it was a really long day yesterday. Like the ride itself just was really long. Google Maps kind of underestimated it just a little bit. Or at least for me, because I have to stop so much more often for gas than most people. I mean, it only takes a second to fill up, but it's more stops. And then I stopped yesterday because it was such a long, straight, fast day. The amount of ground I covered yesterday is incredible. But it also meant a lot of wear on the tire and the chain. So I stopped somewhere along the way and did some kind of roadside maintenance. So I put some more thought into what I'm gonna do with the chain, just to make my life more simple. I'm gonna find just a regular heavy duty, non-O-ring or anything chain. Because the beauty there is, technically I know this bike can handle it. It's not such a powerful engine that you can't get away with that. In fact, above 450 is typically where they start to consider it more of a necessity to have an O-ring or an X-ring chain, something along those lines. This bike's stock came with just a heavy-duty, regular old chain. It's not optimal. They're obviously not as good. They wear out faster. The beauty is that they come with and can be installed by the clip-on master links, which means really the only thing I have to do is cut the chain to length if I get one that's too many links and get the old chain off. That's it. I'm not stuck doing anything in addition to that, and that is key for me, because then I can still do all that myself. So that and the oil change I can probably do myself. I mean, I can. I may, if I'm gonna take it in to get the tire done, I may just ask him about doing an oil change just to make my life simple, and it's gonna be the less expensive of things. If I get them to do the chain though, that's probably going to be a pretty hefty charge, I would think anyway. I don't know. I can inquire about it. But I do think I need to pick up the chain sooner than later. So if I see a bike shop or something today, I need to stop in and just see what they have in stock. This chain is stretching really fast. Again, I don't know if it's something to do with the way I ride or a flaw in how I'm maintaining it, or if it really just has a lot more to do with how much weight I have on the back of this bike. Because that might be it too, you know? Yeah. I'm hoping I can find the excuse to pop the drone out today, get a few flyby shots of myself and just the area around, because today should be shorter. This is already, the Kruviger is already saying less than 10 hours, and it overestimates fucking everything. Here's some construction guys. Excellent. So I haven't looked at what Google Maps says my ETA would be. I might do that about halfway through the day, just to check, find out if I'm kind of on track, or perhaps today this thing is actually more accurate than it's been ever before. But that's one thing, as a note on the Kruviger app, the time estimates are just terribly inaccurate, and I don't know why. I'm really not sure. I don't know if it has incorrect road speed information, maybe, or I really don't know. It's hard to tell. So I'm going to see Ozzy and his wife. We were in the student union together, but anyway, it'll be refreshing. I've had to become more comfortable in social settings recently, which is not a bad thing, to be honest. Yeah, I'm gonna go out to dinner with them and stay at their place. A lot of construction and renovation throughout the United States again on these roads. I don't know if that's every year or if there's some kind of, I don't know, I haven't really been following enough. My assumption with Trump in office is that public expenditure has decreased, at least when it comes to stuff like that. Now that's a very important infrastructure that currently the federal and state governments have a monopoly on. I mean, I guess it wouldn't surprise me if spending on that has continued. What is this guy doing? Why are you riding on the shoulder? I don't understand. I'm really confused by what this person's doing and why a cop would allow that. But then again, I've seen it a lot in Texas. They have these like big fat ass shoulders that people seem to drive on. I don't know. I thought for the most part it was just like utility trucks and such, but I don't know. It's hard to tell now. I've seen it a lot. Huh. I can't really think of much else to say. And now I'm on a road going 75, so it's unlikely I'll be able to clean this audio up very much, so no sense of saying anything important. So, here's to another day. I'll be in Baton Rouge by tonight.
While clearly no political genius, I'm certainly opinionated. But let's get back to the scenic footage now. Before I do, I'd like to point out that I seem to have continued this notion that waving my arms around and gesturing at things on the road would translate in the editing room to me knowing what I was getting at. Sadly, for the most part I don't, and I did it quite a bit. Stopping for a bit to eat at the Golden Arches in Lufkin, Texas. Boy, I do not miss my road trip diet. Well, except the beef jerky. I live on beef jerky between meals in these trips. Taking stock of my location and with my destination in mind, I had a few minutes off the bike to plot out the rest of my day, or at least the next leg. On a positive note, the distance gained with the morning journey enabled me to get off the faster roads and onto some of the more rural roads. You know, the fun ones. There's also a noticeable shift in the landscape from the stereotypically arid Texas to something more like the South I grew up in. It only gets more Louisiana from here. Pop quiz time. Who is an absolute legend? You got it. If you've made it this far into the video, I can't think of a more fitting title than legend, so thank you. Be sure to check out the Pirate Ragnar on Instagram and Twitter for more regular updates. And if you haven't already, why not check out the Wrenching Wednesday videos? Links in the description below.
Alright, midday. Tightened up the chain since it's wearing out so damn fast. Sprocket looks like shit, but I gotta keep going. We're gonna make it to Baton Rouge in a reasonable time. So here we go.
Slight amendment to what 2018 me was saying. This was a quick stop just after crossing the Texas-Louisiana border. So far, the weather has been amazing, so fingers crossed the rest of the day into Baton Rouge is clear and sunny. After spending a bit more time on some dirt roads, which, to stay safe, need to be traveled down much slower than the alternatives, I needed to make a decision based on how far I still needed to travel and the time of day. Stay on the back roads for a bit longer, or hop on a paved road to shave off some time. I took a look at my options and knew I'd have to decide before the turn ahead.
Gotta decide. Do I go that way or do I go that way? I'm gonna stay on the highway.
Paved road it was.
Okay. I don't know how it didn't record it, but my bag just fell off my bike. This one. See? So now I have the strap going through there. Hopefully that mitigates the problem. This must have loosened over the day, and I just didn't notice.
After a very long and thankfully pretty uneventful day, I was closing in on Baton Rouge. Some great friends, good food, and a solid night's sleep. A trip like this wouldn't be complete without some obligatory mishap, so the rain decided to catch up with me in the last 50 kilometers, coming down like a gale as I once again crossed the mighty Mississippi. The fiasco that will be the following day is layers upon layers of bad luck and oversight, everything from terrible weather to lost footage. I don't expect day 9 will be a very long video, so thank you very much for sticking through this one. A special thanks to all the cagers that played nicely, to some amazing friends and their wonderful hospitality, and to Purple Planet for all the great music clips. And as always, ride safe and ride fun, and I'll see you on the next video.